Jerry Hall was a sensation in the 1970s, and her relationship with famous British singer Mick Jagger only boosted her popularity. Though the two stars seemed like a match made in heaven, their time together was riddled with so much drama that Hall had to call it quits. Join Factsverse as Jerry Hall reveals the ugly details of her Mick Jagger affair. Jerry Faye Hall, an American former model and actress, was born July 2, 1956. She and her identical twin sister Terry are the youngest of 5 sisters born to a movie-loving mother who imagined herself as Scarlett O'Hara and a gorgeous father who never fully recovered from his service in World War II. He was violent and prone to outbursts, which are clear symptoms of PTSD. He had a habit of punishing his daughters for every single mistake they made. All 3 daughters fled the family at an early age to escape his frequent beatings. Hall went to France just before her 17th birthday, using the $800 in compensation she received for subpar hospital care following a vehicle accident. One of her lifelong dreams was to become a fashion model, and that dream came true. Once she got to France, she spent her last few dollars on a pink metallic crochet bikini and set out to the beach. While lounging in the sun in the early 70s on a beach in Saint-Tropez, she was spotted by a man who asked if she wanted to be a model. He was a talent scout, and she quickly became a famous model. She was a fixture at the crossroads of rock and roll and high fashion for many years. She was featured on the cover of 1975's Siren, the album by Roxy Music, dated and almost married musicians, and eventually tied the knot with one of the world's most influential media moguls. She began her dating history with Bryan Ferry in 1975. After Jerry was featured on the cover of his album in 1975, the two eventually met. Hall was 17 when she and Ferry, who was 30, began dating, and they got engaged after 5 months. But Hall called off the relationship in 1977 and started dating Mick Jagger. Though the two seemed perfect together, their relationship was fraught with drama from the beginning. Jagger was married to Bianca Jagger at the time, and Hall was dating Bryan Ferry when they first met. One evening in London, Jagger hosted a dinner party at his apartment for fellow musicians, to which Bryan was invited. Bryan showed up with his fiancée, Jerry Hall. He appreciated Mick's interest, but also realized Mick had feelings for Hall, which made him feel awkward. Interestingly, Hall and Jagger's romance began at about the same time Jagger's marriage ended in 1978. Although the relationship was rumored to be fraught with infidelity and A-list scandal, it served as a lasting symbol of the time. Their relationship went through some rough patches, but it's worth noting Jagger reportedly complained to the Detroit Free Press that Hall became intolerable once she quit smoking. The publication reports that he threatened to leave unless Hall began smoking, but Hall had an ultimatum of her own. She told him they were over and she wouldn't see him again while he was on drugs. Decades later, she reflected on Jagger's heroin abstinence and commented that she was stunned by his extraordinary willpower. Hall split up with Jagger in 1982 and began dating Robert Sangster, a wealthy horse farmer. A British gossip reporter named Nigel Dempster claimed to People magazine at the time that Hall was fed up with Mick's refusal to get married. She also expressed concern for her future financial stability, saying there were periods throughout the previous years where she made comparatively little money on her own while trailing a rock star. Before we tell you more, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. Hall and Jagger reconciled the following year, and by that time, Hall was already pregnant with their first child. Another temporary separation was said to have occurred in 1992, this time over Jagger's alleged infidelity. He reportedly left on a visit to singer and model Carla Bruni in Thailand the day after Hall had given birth to their third child, Georgia May. Bruni, who later became First Lady of France, denied her relationship with Jagger at the time, telling People magazine Jagger was a fossil and his wife could keep him. Bruni may have said that, but the rumors about their affair continued to spread. Hall and Jagger's relationship was rocked by a final controversy in 1999. It was speculated in the tabloids that supermodel Luciana Murad was expecting Jagger's child. Though it may have appeared as a rumor, Murad was actually pregnant with his child. Hall sought a divorce, but their Hindu wedding was never recognized by law, so instead she was granted an annulment. She later told The Guardian that the idea of an annulment after 23 years and 4 children was upsetting. It was also a little insulting. Hall did have complimentary remarks for Jagger when their marriage drew to a close. However, there were also criticisms less than glowing. She said his disgusting, womanizing behavior had caused her significant grief. According to Hall's book, she was able to get Jagger off drugs, but all he did was replace them with sex instead. They were together for the better part of 2 decades. They had 4 children: Elizabeth Scarlett, James Leroy, Georgia May, and Gabriel Luke. Hall has refuted rumors that she and Jagger had a falling out over the magnitude of the divorce settlement, but she is clearly upset the marriage was annulled. After initially having residency issues in the UK due to the annulment, she's now seriously considering applying for British citizenship. Previously, Hall discussed the phenomenon of married men pursuing younger women out of a morbid fear of death in her book My Life in Pictures. Hall claims that while Jagger was an unfit husband, he was a devoted father. He was great at guiding them through schoolwork and entertaining them with bike rides, cricket games, and walks with the family dog. His adultery caused her a great deal of sorrow, more than she could handle. Elizabeth and Georgia are models. James, their eldest son, is an actor and singer, and Gabriel, their 13-year-old son, is a serious student who wants to become a history teacher like Jagger's dad. Hall, despite her wealth, has done her best to provide a typical life for her children. She raised them in a spacious home in the Richmond Hill neighborhood of southwest London. She forbade them to visit London and made them perform housework. She also withheld stuff in the press from them, and they never talked about their celebrity status. Hall may be known for her modeling career, but she's also had an extensive acting resume. She played a minor role opposite John Travolta in the 1980 film Urban Cowboy and was one of the Joker's moles in the 1989 film Batman. She appeared on the dating reality show Kept, as well as the comedy French and Saunders. She also provided her voice for a role in the cartoon series Popetown. She competed in the 2012 season of Strictly Come Dancing, the British equivalent of Dancing with the Stars. She's also performed in theater, where she's played most of her important roles. As early as 1988, she was portraying Marilyn Monroe's character in a stage adaptation of Bus Stop, and she continued in that role when the musical transferred to London's West End. She appeared in a Broadway version of The Graduate in the 2000s as Mrs. Robinson. The actress even broke a Guinness World Record in 2004 by appearing in 6 different West End productions on the same night. Hall is currently active in politics and seems to have found a new interest to get herself occupied. When Hall's daughter Elizabeth became involved in the fight for the Equal Rights Amendment and the film Equal Means Equal, Hall felt compelled to use her own power for the cause. She's also taken an interest in winemaking. Starting in 2016, she's been enrolled in wine classes at UC Davis, and she and Rupert Murdoch are Moraga Bel Air Vineyard estate co-owners. She wed billionaire Rupert Murdoch in 2016, and the pair got divorced earlier this month but remain good friends. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite memory of Jerry Hall? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts Verse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.